My mom says brave people do things that scare them. Those words would echo through the marble corridors of Chicago's most imposing corporate building, spoken in the crystal-clear voice of a 5-year-old girl who was about to change 2 lives forever. If you've ever had to make a decision that seemed impossible for your age, if you've ever felt you needed to fight for someone you love, even when everyone said you were too young for it, tell us in the comments where you're watching from. This little girl was about to prove that courage has no minimum age, and that sometimes the most unlikely people are exactly who the world was waiting for. 3 days before that life-changing moment, Emma Johnson woke up at 5 in the morning, as she had done for 7 years. In the small studio apartment she shared with Lily, she watched her daughter sleeping peacefully before starting another day of struggle. At 29, Emma worked 2 jobs. She cleaned medical offices during the day and delivered food by bike at night. Her dream of finishing her business administration degree, interrupted by pregnancy, had never died. "Mom?" Lily appeared in the kitchen, barefoot and in pajamas. "Go back to sleep, sweetheart. It's still early." But Lily had already gotten used to her mother's routine. At 5 years old, she understood more about responsibility than many 10-year-olds. During their simple breakfast, bread with butter and weak coffee, Emma opened the mail. Among the bills there was a different envelope. "Dear Ms. Johnson, we are pleased to invite you for a job interview on October 15th at 9 a.m. Emma held the letter against her chest. Montgomery Consulting. After sending resumes to 60 companies, someone had given her a chance. "What is it, Mom?" "A job interview, sweetheart. This could be our chance for a better life." Emma worked the next 3 days with renewed energy. She studied everything about the company, rehearsed answers, chose her best outfit. At night, after Lily fell asleep, she stayed up late preparing. The night before the interview, the first cough appeared. Emma ignored it. She couldn't get sick now. But in the early hours of Thursday, she woke up with a high fever and difficulty breathing. She tried to get up and collapsed. "Mom, Mom!" Lily found her on the floor. 20 minutes later, they were at Northwestern Memorial Hospital. "Severe pneumonia," the doctor diagnosed. "She needs to stay hospitalized for a few days." Emma cried silently. As she was transferred to the room, 7 years of struggle, months of preparation, and she would lose everything to pneumonia. Lily held her hand. "Mom, what about the interview?" "I don't know, sweetheart. I don't know." That's when Lily, looking at her mother's portfolio, made a decision that would change 3 lives forever. Emma was sleeping sedated when Lily made the most courageous decision of her 5 years of life. She kissed her mother's hot forehead, left a note written in childish handwriting, "Went to get your job, love you," and left the hospital with her mother's portfolio and 50 emergency dollars. She put on her best yellow dress and patent leather red shoes, the only ones without holes. She had never made that journey alone, but Emma had taught her to ride the subway for emergencies, and this was definitely an emergency. The first subway car was full. Lily sat near the conductor, as her mother always said. "Does this train go to Michigan Avenue?" she asked. "Seriously?" The conductor looked surprised at the child alone. "Yes, it does, but where's your mom?" "Solving something important. I need to go to an interview." During the trip, Lily studied every document in the portfolio. The resume Emma had rewritten 15 times, notes about Montgomery Consulting, the colorful drawings she herself had made of her mother working. The second train took her to Michigan Avenue. When she got off, she looked up and saw Montgomery Tower, a glass tower that seemed to touch the clouds. "Brave people do things that scare them," she whispered, repeating her mother's words. In the entrance hall, her red shoes echoed on the polished marble. The security guard watched her, intrigued. "Hi, little one. Are you lost?" "I have a job interview at 9 o'clock for Mrs. Emma Johnson," she responded, with the seriousness only children can demonstrate. "An interview? My mom is in the hospital with pneumonia, but she really needs this job, so I came instead of her." Something in that little girl's determination touched the man. 23rd floor. In the elevator, Lily counted on her fingers as they went up. When the doors opened, she was faced with a new world. Glass walls, elegant furniture, people walking hurriedly. The receptionist Carol almost dropped her coffee when she saw the small figure approaching. "Good morning. I'm Lily Johnson. I came for my mom's interview." Carol crouched down to the girl's height. "Honey, where's your mom?" "At Northwestern Memorial Hospital with severe pneumonia. But she studied really hard for this interview. She needs this job. Lily opened the portfolio organized. I brought all the documents and the drawings I made of her working. The drawings were touching in their simplicity. Emma cleaning with a smile, studying at night, working in an office, her dream. Carol felt a lump in her throat. Lily, what do you expect to happen here? I want someone to get to know my mom through me. I want to tell them how hardworking, smart and good she is, and I want you to give her a chance even though she can't come today. And if they say they can't do that, Lily thought for a moment, then at least I tried. My mom always says it's better to try and not succeed than not to try and live wondering what if. At that moment, Carol made one of the most important decisions of her career. Lily, I'm going to tell Mr. Montgomery you're here. You have 5 minutes to convince him to give your mom a chance. Can you do that? Lily's eyes lit up. I can. I know everything about my mom. Daniel Montgomery quickly organized his desk, removing complex contracts. He didn't know why, but he felt he needed to give full attention to this unusual situation. Lily entered with determined steps, but visibly nervous. The office was intimidating, large, with a panoramic view of the city, walls decorated with diplomas and awards. But what impressed her most was Daniel himself. Tall, broad shoulders, well-cut grey hair, wearing a suit that probably cost more than Emma earned in 6 months. Good morning, Mr. Lily looked at the nameplate on the desk. Mr. Montgomery. Good morning, Lily. You can call me Daniel. He indicated the armchair. Please, have a seat. Lily climbed into the armchair with difficulty, refusing help. Her legs didn't reach the floor, but she maintained an upright posture. Thank you for seeing me, Mr. Daniel. Daniel observed the girl. The yellow dress was wrinkled from the trip, but she had tried to smooth it out. The red shoes shone, clearly polished with care. So, tell me about your mum. The girl opened the portfolio and organized the papers as she had seen Emma do. Her name is Emma Johnson. She's 29 years old. She works 2 jobs to support me. What kind of work does she do? During the day, she cleans medical offices. Dr. Mitchell always says she's the most efficient employee they've ever had. At night, she delivers food by bike for DoorDash. Daniel nodded. And why does she want to work here? Lily flipped through her drawings until she found a specific one. Emma sitting at an office desk, smiling. She wants to work in an office because she studied business administration in college. She stopped when I was born, but she never stopped learning. The girl showed her mother's notes. Look, she copied everything about your company. She knows you work with business consulting, that you were founded in 2010, and that you have values of excellence and social responsibility. Social responsibility, do you know what that means? It means you care about people, not just money. The answer surprised Daniel with its simplicity and precision. And do you think your mum would fit these values? I'm sure my mum always cares about people. When she cleans the offices, she talks to nervous patients. When she delivers food, she always says thank you and wishes good night, even when she's tired. Daniel got up and walked to the window. Lily, you know I can't hire a 5-year-old, right? I know, but you can hire my mum. How are you so sure she would be good at this job? Lily got down from the armchair and approached the desk, placing more drawings. Because she already takes care of everything at home, she organizes our papers, controls the money so we don't run out of food, makes plans for the future. The girl pointed to each drawing. And she's very polite. The doctors at the office always praise how she talks to people. Tell me about your family. It's just me and my mom. My dad left when I was a baby. Lily spoke without resentment. My mom says some people don't know how to take care of other people, but it's not their fault. They just never learned. Daniel felt something tighten in his chest. And you don't have other relatives? No. But my mom always says family isn't just who you're born with. Family is who stays when things get difficult. The words hit Daniel like lightning. He had spent 30 years avoiding deep connections, focusing only on work, fearing the pain of losing someone again. Lily, how did you get here today? By subway. First I took the red line to downtown, then the blue line to Michigan Avenue. It cost $2.75. Weren't you scared? I was, she admitted honestly, but my mum always says brave people do things that scare them. Daniel sat back down. There was something about this child that awakened feelings long dormant. Your mum sounds very special. She's the most special person in the world, said Lily, and for the first time her voice trembled. That's why I can't let her miss this chance. Daniel got up again and walked to a bookshelf. Among the books, there was an old photo, an 8-year-old boy next to a smiling woman. Lily, can I tell you a story? Yes. When I was your age, my mom also worked very hard. She was a secretary at a small company and studied accounting at night. Daniel picked up the photo. One day, she had a heart attack at work. I was at school and never had a chance to say goodbye to her. Lily got down from the armchair and approached Daniel. Were you all alone? I was, and I promised myself I would never let myself get too close to anyone again because it hurt too much to lose them. But that's sad, Mr. Daniel. People need other people. That's what I'm beginning to understand again. He looked at the girl. Do you know what impresses me most about you? What? You were scared, but you came anyway. You did exactly what I couldn't do when I was your age. You fought for someone you love. Lily observed him seriously. Do you want to meet my mom? Daniel made one of the most important decisions of his life. I do. And not just meet her. I want to give her the chance she deserves. At Northwestern Memorial Hospital, Daniel followed Lily through corridors she already knew well. The girl greeted nurses by name, waved to other patients. Room 314, she said, stopping in front of a half-open door. Through the gap, Daniel could see a young woman lying in the hospital bed, connected to a heart monitor and with oxygen tubes in her nose. Even weakened by illness, it was possible to perceive the dignity in her posture. Mom, Lily entered softly. Are you awake? Emma opened her eyes slowly. When she saw her daughter, her expression lit up, but quickly changed to concern when she noticed she wasn't alone. Lily, where were you? I woke up and you weren't... She stopped when she saw Daniel. Who is this gentleman? Mom, this is Mr. Daniel Montgomery, from Montgomery Consulting. Emma tried to sit up quickly in bed, but a coughing fit prevented her. When she managed to recover, she was pale with embarrassment. Mr. Montgomery, I don't understand. How did you two meet? Daniel approached the bed carefully. Ms. Johnson, your daughter showed up at my office this morning for a job interview. An interview? Emma looked at Lily with a mixture of pride, panic, and disbelief. Lily, explain to me exactly what you did. I got your job, Mom, or at least I got a chance. During the next few minutes, Lily told about her morning journey. Emma listened in silence, alternating between tears of pride and maternal concern. Mr. Montgomery, said Emma when Lily finished, I don't know what to say. She's just a child and Ms. Johnson, may I call you Emma? You can, of course. Emma, in 15 years running my company, I've never received a presentation as convincing as the one your daughter gave me this morning. She showed me your documents, your drawings, told me about your dedication, your intelligence, your values. And you know what impressed me most? The fact that you raised a daughter capable of crossing a city for love. That tells me more about your character than any resume could. Emma looked at Daniel with a mixture of gratitude and skepticism. In 7 years of solitary struggle, she had learned to be cautious with offers that seemed too good to be true. Mr. Montgomery, you're very kind, but I can't accept charity. It's not charity, Daniel responded firmly. It's a job opportunity based on what I learned about you through your daughter and what I observed in this conversation. But you don't really know me. You don't know if I have the necessary skills. Emma, can I ask you some technical questions? Even weakened, Emma answered with precision. Filing systems, customer service, time management. Daniel was impressed with her practical and well-founded responses. Emma, where did you learn these techniques? Books from the public library on weekends, Lily answered proudly. Emma, Daniel continued, I'm offering a position as administrative assistant at my company. Starting salary of $3,500, meal vouchers, health insurance for you and Lily, and assistance to finish your degree. Emma was silent for a long moment. Tears began to flow down her face. Mr. Montgomery, this is what you deserve. But there's one condition. Lily visits the office every Thursday after school. She needs positive male figures in her life, and I need to be reminded of what really matters. Why are you doing this for us? Daniel approached the window of the room. Because 30 years ago I was a boy who lost his mother and never had the chance to fight for her. Today, I met a girl who crossed a city to fight for her mother, and that showed me I had forgotten how to love. Your daughter didn't just get you the job. She gave me back something I thought I had lost forever, the ability to form a family. 1 week later, Emma had completely recovered from pneumonia and was ready to start work. On Monday morning, she arrived at Montgomery Consulting at 8 o'clock sharp, wearing the best outfit she owned. Carol received her with a warm smile, but Sandra Peterson, administrative coordinator with 15 years at the company, was less receptive. "So you're the famous Emma." "Johnson," said Sandra, looking Emma up and down, "the woman who was hired by a 5-year-old child." Emma felt the tone of disapproval. "Good morning, Sandra. I'm very grateful for the opportunity and eager to learn." Sandra showed her a small desk in the corner of the room. "This is your workstation. I'll start with basic tasks." She pointed to 3 boxes full of papers. "These documents need to be organized and filed. Alphabetical system by client, then chronological. I think it'll take, how about 3 days?" Emma looked at the boxes and nodded. "Can I take a look at the current system to better understand?" In 2 hours, Emma had separated all documents into organized piles and created a sketch of a new filing system. "Sandra," she approached, "can I make a suggestion? I noticed there's a lot of duplicate documentation. If we created a color-coded system with a control spreadsheet, we could reduce search time by about 70%. Sandra looked at her with skepticism. "Emma, you've been here for 2 hours. Do you think you know our system better than me, who's been here for 15 years? During the rest of the morning, Emma noticed curious looks from other employees. Comments reached her. "Is she the one who got the job through her daughter? Let's see how long she lasts." But Emma continued working with determination. By lunchtime, she had completely reorganized the filing system, created a control spreadsheet, and identified 3 procedures that could be optimized. "Impossible," Sandra murmured upon seeing the perfect system. "Robert Wilson, financial manager," observed Emma with clear disapproval. "Ah, the story that's going around the company. From cleaning offices to business consulting, interesting change." Emma felt the weight of discrimination but maintained her composure. When Daniel passed through the department, Sandra approached. "Daniel, I don't know if it was a good idea. She has no corporate experience. Employees are talking." Daniel responded firmly. "Emma, keep doing the excellent work you're doing. Changes always generate resistance, but results speak louder." On the first Thursday, as agreed, Lily arrived at the office after school. She wore her school uniform, blue skirt and white blouse, and carried her pink backpack. Carol received her with genuine joy. "Lily, how are you?" "Hi, Aunt Carol. I'm good. Can I see my mom?" In the administrative department, Emma was focused on a spreadsheet. When she saw Lily, her face lit up. "Sweetheart, how was school?" "It was good. Mrs. Anderson said my drawing of our family turned out very nice." Lily opened her backpack and showed a colorful paper. "Look, I drew you, me, and Uncle Daniel." Emma looked at the drawing and felt a tightness in her chest. Lily had drawn the 3 of them holding hands, smiling, with a large red heart in the background. "It's beautiful, my love. But remember that Mr. Montgomery—" "You can call me Uncle Daniel, yes," said Daniel, appearing at the door. "Hi, Princess, how are you?" "Uncle Daniel." Lily ran to hug him. "Did you like my drawing?" Daniel looked at the drawing and felt something move in his chest. "It's perfect. Can I keep it?" "You can. I made it especially for you." Sandra, who was observing the scene with disapproval, approached. "Daniel, don't you think a child in the work environment might be inappropriate?" "Why?" Lily looked at Sandra with curiosity. "Don't you like children?" Sandra was disconcerted. It's not that I don't like, it's that my mum always says people who don't like children forgot how to be happy," said Lily with childish sincerity. Daniel smiled. "Lily, how about you stay in my office today? I brought some things for you to do." In Daniel's office, there was a small table prepared especially for Lily, with paper, colored pencils, some children's books. "Wow, is this all for me?" "Yes, you can draw, read, or play while your mum works." For 40 minutes, Lily worked in silence, concentrated on a new drawing. When she finished, she showed Daniel. It was the Montgomery Consulting building, but instead of being just gray and serious, it was colorful and full of smiles in the windows. "This is how I see this place," she explained. "A happy place where people work together." Daniel looked at the drawing and made an important decision. In the following weeks, Emma's presence at the company began to generate subtle but significant changes. Her organizational suggestions were implemented in other departments, and it was Lily's presence on Thursdays that really began to transform the environment. "Mr. Robert," she said one Thursday, approaching the financial manager, "what do you do here?" Robert, who had been one of the most resistant to Emma's hiring, looked at the girl with an expression that slowly softened. "I take care of the company's money." "How do you take care of it?" "I check how much money comes in, how much goes out, and make plans for the future. Just like my mom does at home. She has a little notebook where she writes everything down. Only our money fits on just one page," said Lily with innocence. Robert found himself laughing. "And is your mom good with numbers?" "She's very good. She can shop at the grocery store with little money, and there's always a little left over for emergencies." That night, Robert sought out Emma. "Can I ask a personal question? How did you manage to handle finances with 2 low-paying jobs and still save money?" Emma was surprised by the genuine interest. "Well, I created manual spreadsheets to control every penny. I set strict priorities and always tried to save at least 5% for emergencies." 5%? With such a tight budget? "No matter how small the amount, it's always possible to save something. The secret is treating savings like a mandatory bill, not something optional." Robert nodded, impressed. "Emma, if you want, I can teach you some basic concepts of corporate financial management in your spare time." It was the first mentorship offer she had received at the company. Sandra also began to change her attitude. "Emma," she said on a Monday, "I need you to organize the presentation for Thursday's clients. It's an important project." It was the first time Sandra had trusted Emma with a really important task. Emma worked 3 days on the presentation, applying everything she had learned. During the meeting, the proposal was praised by the visitors. "Who developed this process analysis?" asked the main client. "Our administrative assistant, Emma Johnson," Daniel responded with pride. After the meeting, Sandra approached Emma. "I owe you an apology." "You don't owe me anything, Sandra." "I do. I judged you before getting to know you. I thought you were here as a favor, not because of competence. And now? Now I know you're here because you're exactly what this company needed." 2 months after Emma started at the company, Daniel decided to promote a significant organizational change. Montgomery Consulting would implement a new customer relationship management system, and Emma would be responsible for leading the transition. "Emma," said Daniel on a Friday morning, "I want you to coordinate the implementation of the new CRM system." "Coordinate? But I'm an administrative assistant." "You were. Now you're our new process coordinator, with a corresponding salary increase." Emma felt her legs weaken. "Daniel, you've shown in the last 2 months that you have systemic vision, leadership capacity, and especially the team's trust." Over the weekend, Emma called Daniel, nervous. "Daniel, I'm afraid I won't be able to do it." "Why?" "It's too much responsibility. What if I fail?" "Emma, can I tell you something I learned in recent months? Courage isn't not being afraid. Courage is being afraid and doing the right thing anyway. Your daughter taught me that." The following Monday, Emma began the most important project of her professional career. For 3 weeks, she worked 12 hours a day, studied technical manuals, talked to each employee to understand their needs. Lily, as always on Thursdays, watched her mother work. "Mom, are you tired?" "I am, sweetheart, but it's a good kind of tired." "What do you mean?" "It's the tiredness of someone who's building something important. It's different from the tiredness of just surviving." The night before implementing the system, Emma was in the office late, making final adjustments. Daniel stopped by to check on the progress. "How are you feeling?" "Nervous, anxious, but hopeful." Emma stopped what she was doing and looked out the window. Chicago sparkled with millions of lights in the night. "You know, Daniel, 7 years ago when Lily was born and I had to drop out of college, I thought my life was over, that I would forever be the single mother who cleans bathrooms and delivers food at dawn. And now? Now I know it wasn't the end. It was just a pause, a preparation." She turned to him. "Those 7 years taught me things no college could teach. They taught me about resilience, about finding solutions with limited resources, about leading through example, and about raising an extraordinary daughter." Emma smiled. "She's my greatest achievement, and ironically, she was the one who opened the door to all the others. "Emma, can I confess something?" "Of course. When Lily showed up at my office 2 months ago, I thought I was doing a favor for you two. Now I know you two did a favor for me." The CRM system implementation would happen on a Tuesday. Emma arrived at the office at 6 in the morning, 2 hours before the official start of business. At 8, when employees began arriving, Emma gave a brief presentation explaining each step of the transition process. "I know changes always generate anxiety," she said, looking at each face in the room, "but I want you to know that I studied every detail of this system, thinking about making your work easier, not complicating it." The implementation was an absolute success. Emma had divided the team into small groups, each responsible for a part of the system. She circulated constantly, checking progress, solving problems, encouraging when someone got frustrated. When obstacles arose, incompatibility between systems, resistance from older employees, Emma found alternative solutions based on her practical experience. At 5 o'clock, Daniel gathered the entire team. "I want to congratulate everyone for today's excellent implementation, but I especially want to recognize the exceptional work of our process coordinator, Emma Johnson." Genuine applause filled the room. Emma not only technically mastered every aspect of this project, but demonstrated natural leadership that made the entire process smoother for all of us. Robert stood up. "Emma, can I say something? When you arrived here, I confess I had doubts. I thought Daniel was being too sentimental, but you proved that competence has nothing to do with where we come from, but with what we're capable of doing." Sandra also spoke up. "Emma, you taught me that prejudice is a form of mental laziness. It's easier to judge than to really get to know a person." That night, Emma left the office at 7, for the first time in weeks, finishing at normal hours. She picked up Lily from Mrs. Davis's house, and they went to dinner at a diner, a luxury they couldn't afford for a long time. "Mom, how was work today?" "It was the best day of my professional life, sweetheart." "Can I tell you a secret?" "Of course. I always knew you were amazing. That's why I went to the office that day. It wasn't just courage. It was because I was sure that anyone who really got to know you would want to give you a chance." Emma hugged her daughter right there, in the middle of the diner, not caring who was watching. Montgomery Consulting's year-end party was happening for the first time in a family format. Daniel had decided that employees could bring spouses and children, a change that symbolized the company's new culture. Emma wore an elegant blue dress, the first new dress she had bought in years. Lily, now 6, was radiant in a new yellow dress, but had insisted on wearing the same red lucky shoes that had taken her to the office that first day. "Uncle Daniel!" Lily ran to hug him as soon as they arrived. "Look at my new dress. It's beautiful, princess. Goes perfectly with the lucky shoes." The party was being held in the company's main hall, decorated with golden lights and round tables. There was a special area for children, but Lily preferred to circulate among the adults, talking to all the employees as if they were close relatives. "Aunt Sandra, Uncle Robert," she greeted each one with genuine joy. Sandra crouched down to talk to her. "Lily, your mom told me you got excellent grades at school this semester." "I did. My mom said now I can dream of studying at any school I want because she'll be able to pay for it." Robert approached. "And what do you want to be when you grow up?" "I want to be like my mom." "How so?" "I want to be brave, hardworking, and I want to help people achieve their dreams." During dinner, Daniel stood up to make a speech. This year was one of many transformations for Montgomery Consulting. We implemented new systems, expanded our client base, and most importantly, we learned that a company isn't just made of processes and numbers, it's made of people. He looked directly at Emma and Lily. 6 months ago, a 5-year-old girl showed up at my office for a job interview. She wasn't looking for work for herself. She was fighting for someone she loved. And that attitude taught me something fundamental about what really matters. Emma felt tears forming in her eyes. Emma Johnson didn't just arrive here as a new employee. She brought a different perspective, a way of working that puts people first. And most importantly, she taught us that family isn't just who you're born with, it's who chooses to stay when things get difficult. Daniel picked up a glass and raised a toast. To Emma and Lily Johnson, who taught us that the best hires are those made with the heart, but validated by competence. Everyone raised their glasses, Emma was openly crying now. After dinner, there was music and dancing. Daniel invited Lily to dance, and she laughed delightedly as he spun her around. "Uncle Daniel, can I ask you an important question?" "Of course, Princess." "Are you happy now?" The question caught Daniel by surprise. "Why do you ask that?" "Because when I met you, your eyes were sad, even when you smiled. Now they're different." Daniel stopped dancing and looked at this extraordinary girl. "You're right. I'm much happier now." "Why?" "Because I learned that having people to care for isn't a weakness. It's the greatest strength there is. And you take care of us." "I do. And you take care of me too." Lily hugged him tight. "So we're a real family now." "We're the most real family I've ever had." At the end of the party, Emma was approached by several colleagues who wanted to congratulate her on her success over the past months. Robert also approached. "Emma, can I make a proposal?" Daniel was thinking about creating a mentorship program for employees who want to grow in the company. "We'd like you to coordinate it." "Coordinate how?" "Use your experience to help other people discover their potential. People like you who maybe just need an opportunity." Emma looked around the party. Employees talking animatedly, children playing, an environment that had become genuinely familial. "Robert, can I think of something better than that?" "What would that be?" "How about we create a program to help single mothers return to the job market, offer not just employment, but training, support, and most importantly, hope?" Daniel, who had approached and heard the conversation, smiled. "Emma, that's a brilliant idea. Want to present a formal project next week?" "I do. And I already know the program's name." "What?" "Brave people. Because sometimes all someone needs is courage to do things that scare them." 1 year after that morning that changed everything, Montgomery Consulting had become one of Chicago's most sought-after companies, not just for business results, but for the human and innovative culture it had developed. The Brave People program had helped 15 single mothers re-enter the job market. Each brought a different story, but all shared the experience of being judged by appearance instead of potential. Emma, now Director of Human Development, had finished her degree with a full scholarship offered by the company and was pursuing a graduate degree in people management. Lily, at 7 years old, continued being the company's official mascot. Her Thursdays at the office had become tradition, and she already talked about, "When I grow up and work with Mommy and Uncle Daniel." On Daniel's office wall there was a gallery of photos, him, Emma and Lily on various occasions, graduations, company parties, weekends they spent together. But the main photo was still that of Lily's first drawing, "My Chosen Family." On a typical Thursday, Daniel watched Emma coordinate a meeting with naturalness and competence, while Lily drew silently at her little table in the corner. "Uncle Daniel," Lily called him during a break, "do you remember what I said on the first day?" "What did you say?" "That brave people do things that scare them." "I remember. Now I know something new." "What?" Lily lifted her little face and smiled with the sweet wisdom of 7 years. "Sometimes when you do something brave for someone you love, you end up discovering that the whole world becomes more beautiful." Daniel looked out the panoramic window. Down below, Chicago continued its frantic dance of people chasing dreams, building lives, caring for families. But now, he saw it differently. He saw opportunities for transformation, stories of overcoming waiting to be discovered, families waiting to be formed. "Lily, can I tell you a secret?" "You can." "The day you showed up at my office, I thought I was about to solve a problem. I didn't know I was about to find a purpose." "What purpose?" "To discover that true success isn't measured by what you achieve, but by what you build. And you two helped me build something I thought I'd never have." "What?" "A family." Emma, who had finished the meeting and approached to hear the conversation, smiled and joined them at the window. "You know what's the most incredible thing about all this?" she said. "What, Mom?" "When I woke up that day in the hospital, desperate because I was going to miss the most important interview of my life, I never imagined that my daughter was about to achieve something much bigger than a job." "What did she achieve?" asked Daniel. Emma looked at Lily, then at Daniel, then at the view of the city below. "She proved that love has the power to transform not just lives, but the entire world around us, and that sometimes the most important changes begin with the simplest decisions, like a 5-year-old girl deciding she won't give up on someone she loves." And as the sun set over Chicago, painting the sky in golden tones that perfectly matched yellow dresses and red shoes. Three hearts that had once been alone now beat in sync, united not by blood, but by something even stronger. Chosen love, shared courage, and the certainty that family is who stays when things get difficult. Because sometimes the most important interviews in life don't happen between adults in boardrooms. Sometimes they happen when a 5-year-old girl decides that brave people do things that scare them and changes the world with her bravery. Did this story touch you? Lily discovered that true love has the power to move mountains and millionaire CEOs. She proved that family isn't who you're born with, but who chooses to fight for you when everything seems lost. Tell us in the comments, have you ever had to be brave for someone you love? Have you discovered that sometimes children see solutions that adults can't see? Your story of courage could inspire someone facing an impossible situation today. If this story touched your heart, subscribe to the channel for more narratives about the transformative power of unconditional love, second chances, and the courage of a child who can change the destiny of an entire family. And don't forget to like. Each like reminds us that stories about genuine kindness and hope still move the world. Where are you watching from? Leave your city in the comments and tell us, what was the moment when you had to do something that scared you for someone you love? We love knowing that our community extends across the entire United States and beyond, united by the belief that brave people do things that scare them, and that love always finds a way.